Welcome, everybody, back to my Ace Attorney gameplay. My name is Protimus. We're still slogging through the last trial here. So, yeah, it's gonna be a real time and a half. Grab my controller all the way over here. Let's get going, shall we? Episode 5, Rise in the Ashes. Day 2, Investigation. It's such a long trial. It is so very long. It is so very long. And it's been 2 weeks, so I'm not gonna remember what's happening. Let's see. I was looking at these things, right? There's a bloody handprint. Okay, I haven't looked at that locker yet. Looked at the glove. I haven't looked at this yet. Okay. So for anyone who's just catching up, we're investigating a murder trial of the murder of a detective. The chief prosecutor is on trial for murdering a detective. It might be related to some incident that happened 2 years prior. And there's a whole bunch of people involved. There's a cowboy. There's a lunch lady. I don't know. It's a double homicide. One killed in the police place. And, yeah, you know what's going on. let's move on. Oh, that's right. I put together this thing, and it's missing a piece. If you put these pieces together, it makes a jar. Door is a jar. Door is a jar. Door is a jar. Oh boy.
There are two things that bother me. One, why are some of the pieces missing? Two, doesn't it seem a little unstable? No wonder it broke.
I'll make sure to remember that next time I make a jar. Okay, cool, thanks. All right, open locker. What do we got here?
Look, this one's open, and the red indicator light above the door is still lit.
Yeah, that locker's coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker? Locker?
Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that?
Also, I still haven't found my like dress shirts or anything. I found my vest and tie at one point, and you'd think, oh yeah, hey, like of course you should pack these together. You're gonna need these together. Nope. Also, I immediately lost the vest and tie. No idea where it went. Mulin, how are you now? It's been a while. And Chixie, how are you now as well? How's everybody doing? Glad y'all can make it.
Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it.
It's empty. They must have taken the contents elsewhere. The contestants elsewhere. That's all we got. Can I look for blood? I feel like I know there's blood here, but can I look for blood? All right, time to spray. All right, let's see. Where's some? Oh, hello. Yeah, Trixie. That must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional. What's your opinion, detective?
Pale blue blood.
So we're dealing with an alien. Got it.
Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien?
See, Gumshoe and I, we're connected.
This proves that something really happened in front of this locker.
I'll make a note of it on the floor plans.
Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked.
All right. Yeah. Hey, look at that. I'm surprised it worked. Pan! We'll watch the VOD later. Well, glad you could stop by and say hi. Have a good one, Pan.
I knew it. This is someone's right handprint.
Well, we probably could have deduced that.
What?
What's the matter, detective? Haven't you seen a right handprint before?
This locker. It's mine.
The blood was right there. Yeah, we didn't need the special spray to see what? We didn't need the special spray to see that there was blood there. It was just there. Why are we acting like this is a big? Okay.
It's yours?
Please. You have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise to testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? And Terror Bag?
This is an important clue. I'll jot it down on the floor plans.
I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police.
Coming from a cop, that means a lot.
What? But you're a detective.
All right, and now slide to the left. Yeah. Ooh, hello. Okay. Anything else? Any blood up here? Any blood over here? Anything on the side? And anything down this long pole? No, okay. I mean, this looks like another... that might be a left hand, actually. I'm not sure. Yeah, that might be the pinky.
Why am I getting a reaction here?
There's no reason for the murderer to touch the spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Phoenix is very excited.
Hey, that's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal.
What, this? It's called luminol testing fluid.
Where'd you get your hands on that?
Huh?
I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow $50 from the chief.
Where do you get this, Emma?
I always buy it by mail order.
Well, I better jot this down on the floor plans. Why was that conversation significant? Slide to the right. Is there any more blood here? Just because I'm curious. Let me spray my goo. Okay. Okay, Gumshoe, you ain't got nothing. Hi, bud. How you doing? I guess let's get out of here. I don't feel like. There's still a missing piece to this thing. Extremely thin rubber glove. Let's see. What if I look at this? Oh, hello? Or was it just highlighting this? Okay, probably was just highlighting that. Okay, let's look at this one. The tag says Sl9 11. I guess this is another piece of evidence from that case.
You know, I never did care for the word tag. It's confusing.
What's so confusing about that?
Do you know how many other words sound like it? Bag, gag, nag, lag, zag.
Zag? Is that a word?
Do you challenge me? I have the power of God and anime on my side.
What, are we playing a word game now? Okay. Okay. Let me look at this one. I mean, I guess I haven't looked at this thing since I put it together. I feel like it's... Well, it might be important that there's a piece missing. That's where the blood is.
Hey, look. They're hard to make out, but there are some dark red stains here.
Looks like blood. I mean, knowing how this goes, probably.
Do you think Detective Goodman's blood somehow got on this when he was stabbed?
Not likely. This blood looks like it's been here for months, maybe longer. This jar was evidence in the Sl9 incident. That might be when the blood got on it. Oh, is that it? Oh, okay. Hello? Hello in there! Oh, I didn't realize it had a empty... What's the purpose of a... This face has an empty bottom! Why did you need an empty bottom? What? What is the purpose of an empty bottom face? Okay. Boy, can I do anything with this? Let's see. Scene of the stabbing at the PD. So yeah, we've got blood there, blood there, blood there. Inefficient Chalice. That's the name of my next punk band. We do a lot of like punk covers of classical music. I don't know. If you got anything for me? I don't know what I'm doing. Carbon entrance? Sure. I don't know, underground parking lot. Hey, you got anything to say? Nope. Anything over here? Nope. I don't know what I'm doing. Detention center, sure. What's up? Nope, you're fine. Let's go up to the High Prosecutor's office. Nothing here. Oh boy, I don't know what I'm doing. I like how this is the only place that has music. Like everywhere else is just dead quiet. But then you get to the parking lot. It's like da ba doo doo ba da da doo boo doo da da doo ba da doo da da ba da da ba. That sounds like an interesting musical genre. I don't know how it would work. I guess this place has music too. You know anything about this?
There's one thing speaking as a detective. If I see if he's anything in the mouth, I say nothing. Nothing.
That's fine.
You bet it's fine, pal.
Alright, well, I can't. All the time doing here. I looked at these lockers, I looked at all this stuff, I looked at that thing there, I looked at the blood there, so I don't look behind my face, I can't see behind my face. There's a piece missing on the base here. Oh man, oh no. We looked at that already. I don't think so. The only thing that I have is the spray. Which, like... Why is there a card or that? I don't know. Well, it's a part of some case, if I remember right. Maybe I'm just hosing this place down. There's like none on this floor, right? There's none over here. There's none on the locker, which is kind of weird. Doppel, how are you now? How are you doing today? There's nothing like up on the ceiling, right? No, like, no arterial spray. And you got nothing for me. Got a new puppy? You got a new doggo? Oh! A new doggo? Got anything for this? Nope. Got anything for this? Oh, hey, here we go. Oh, maybe. I don't know. BB! Oh!
You can't open the lockers if your fingerprint doesn't match. If you can't open it, I'll give you 50 cents.
No, the police department lacks faith in its lock system.
After all, Detective Goodman was stabbed here after opening his locker. But at the same time, he was found dead over at the prosecutor's office.
No, we don't see his face. Ever. What about this? Nope. Oh, wait. I'm supposed to show this to, That's right. I'm supposed to show that to what's his face? Meekins. I don't remember his name. Let's see. Move to detention center. Oh, hydrate. Thank you for the hydrate, Doppel. This is on the house vacuum.
Much obliged.
Right, because... Or maybe I'm supposed to show this to Jake? I don't know. Let's show it to him. Meekins, that's his name. Officer Meekins, could you have a look at this? Sorry, really sorry. Okay, never mind. Mr. Edgeworth,
He's passing the buck, Mr. Wright.
takes a special kind of man to pass the buck to Edgeworth. Okay, maybe I need to show this to... Marshall? Y'all, I might be stupid. My wife and I started watching Fairy Tail again. And this Happy has a line that I forgot about during the Galuna arc, where Lucy has this plan to make a pitfall trap, and Happy just goes, "Lucy, as your friend, I hate to say this to you, but I think you might be stupid," and it's just such a funny line. Push picture BB in the door. Yeah, you should. You see the pupper. All right.
The sheriffs back in the Wild West and placed most faith in evidence. But the only thing they trusted was their shooting hand.
This is neither wild nor west here.
But that and this are two different things entirely.
I guess so? Huh? I'm lost.
Looks like we need some evidence to get anywhere with this guy. Do we have a picture? Okay, so you're just gonna be an asshole, huh? Oh boy, I don't know what I'm doing. I thought I had it. It slightly cuts his face while shaving, just enough to be annoying, right? Like, just enough to be like, okay. I was supposed to show it to you. Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing.
I heard the rumors. So it was Goodwin who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa!
What is it?
That second number.
It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe?
Mr. Edgeworth.
What?
The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth.
Oh no. Edgy Boy's on trial again. Edgy Boy did it.
Edgy Boy's a murderer.
What? ID card record updated. Why would Edgeworth come to the evidence room?
Hey, now look at the time.
Was it something you needed to be going to? What is that sentence? Was there something you needed to be going to?
Here's that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon.
What is that? What? Hang on. What is that? Hang on, let me have my... What is that? Whoa!
I'm going to give them my report for the day. It might help, you know.
Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer?
The one that says nothing but no problems in Terabang?
Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure he can use a report like this. I believe in him.
Who needs enemies when you've got friends like Detective Gumshoe?
I'm off, pal. Later.
Later. Stop, what did you miss? There's a murder. There's been a murder. A detective has been murdered in two places at once. I don't know what his accent is. It went from one thing to another very rapidly. Double homicide. One at the police station, one in the parking garage at the prosecutor's office. It might be the chief prosecutor. We're not sure. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. Okay. All right. We're going to go see the boyfriend. Where am I going? The music wants me to play Zoo Tycoon. Where am I going to? This way. Here we go. Okay. Does he do a little chuckle? You? What are you doing here, bellboy? So this dude definitely talks like Tim Curry from the Clue movie, right? Like that's his voice. That's his canon voice. Which is just Tim Curry's voice, actually, now that I think about it. Oh, guests, my apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here?
They're standing by the window, a teacup in his hand.
Back, like, leaning up against, teacup in one hand, looking sullenly over the cityscape. Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service?
Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry?
I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Oh, yes. He brought me the latest information, it seems.
Really? Was it helpful?
Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. The real info is on the other side, Edward. Edward can't read. That's the joke here.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing really is taking a toll on him.
I'm right here, Emma. Alright, what about the inquiry committee? So, how did the inquiry committee go?
Actually, they decided to treat this not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation.
Concealing evidence?
Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again.
I love the smile sprite. It's a very nice sprite. It's the only time we see him be not angsty. Again.
I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago.
Well, that's tomorrow's trial. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow?
Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However,
Something happened?
they gave me control, or they gave control of the investigation over to the police department.
The police department?
Yes, any further investigation for this case will be directed by the chief of police, Gaunt.
Edgeworth. This looks pretty melancholy. It's a weird. It's a lot of emotion. It's a very deep sprite. There's a lot of interpretation that we have on that sprite. Their chatter, Citric.
I can do nothing but wait for his results.
I see.
Why, I ask you? Why? Interrobang. All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still.
I've never seen him this out of sorts. Hey. Hey, what's up about this?
Oh, right, I'd better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? What's this? A record of ID card usage?
Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Oop, hit my mic. Just before the incident occurred, no less.
Yes, that's true.
Why, Mr. Edgeworth?
Please don't look at me like that.
He said, please.
I was asked to go by Chief Gaunt, no less.
Look at that. Look at that handsome bastard.
The chief of police?
He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office.
But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed.
The chief is never one to explain himself.
Yeah, it's kind of his deal right now.
In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here.
Can I ask what kind of case it was?
look at her. No, she's just happy to be here.
I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case.
Now I'm curious about this other case. I'd better make a note of it. How many cases are there? No! I'm not smart enough for this. Unrelated evidence. Screwdriver added to the court record. What?
Stubborn as always. I told you this has nothing to do with the current case.
Well, are you sure about that?
Let's take a look at it, shall we? Yes, look, it's a good screwdriver. It's a flathead, I see. About 18 gauge. I don't know what I'm saying.
AI. What does the A stand for? Artificial. What about intelligence? Oh. What was the A again? The tag says AI-16.
What's that got to do with anything?
Nothing, apparently. At least, that's what Edgeworth said.
It makes it seem all the more suspicious. Who knows? This might turn out to be the clue that breaks the case.
Or not, and you're just fucking with me. Wouldn't that be nice? Whee! Okay, I'm done here. You got anything else for me there, Eddie boy? Scene of the stabbing?
Right, please, I'm the prosecutor in this case. You don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea?
I'm passing the tea. Just tell me about the case.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth told you no in a very polite manner.
What side are you on anyway? Okay. Maybe if I just show him my best evidence, I can get some reaction out of him. Okay, cool. I need to show him. I do need to show him evidence. What did it say? Why is the 9 scratched out? That's weird. Okay, nope, nothing there. Whoops. That's not what I meant to do. You want the glove? Okay. Ah! Locker. Whoops. My best evidence. Let's just show him the screwdriver. Nope. Damn it. Okay, not the screwdriver. It's not this, not this, not this, not this. Scene? Stabbing? Nope. Let's just keep going down the line. I already showed you this. Okay, no, we already... Okay, it's just the exact same thing. Right, dramatic. Okay. Edgeworth is the dramatic bitch I aspire to be. The biggest window. But don't we all? Just like... I love mornings. I don't have any evidence. Hey, look at this. I'll hose you down. Okay, no, not that. I don't, this is all old evidence at this point. Ah. Okay, there's nothing there. I got nothing. I got nothing. Okay, but I do, okay, I have Edgeworth, I have, Mr. Goodman. And I know Meekins went in, but I can't talk to him about that yet. Oh, hey, here we go. Allegations of forgery. I'm dumb. I'm just stupid. That's the answer. The Sl9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gaunt. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago, too, then. Well, I read that completely wrong. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago, too, then. That's too much. He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous.
Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth?
What I want to know is why was the deputy chief of police on the investigation? In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict, and the killer was executed. Is it ID in between? I'm pretty sure that's, Meekins. Because Meekins showed up, like, right after, Goodman. Wait, you didn't... Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code, and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something.
My sister? What?
If you were still studying forensic science, Damon Gaunt, wacky old coot, that's what he's known for. That wacky Damon Gaunt, not malicious or criminally insane at all. Kind of amusing. He's fun to, like, read through. He's just an asshole.
Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today Mr. Wright and I were using this.
Luminol testing fluid, Well then, you might have use for this. You might have use for this.
Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints.
It's been chemically treated for better adhesion.
For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know.
I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. How about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Fingerprinting set. And then I also get a fingerprint file.
Well, let's get going. One last investigation.
Right. I do seem to remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Where? Oh, where could that be? Okay, I want to look at... Check this. Okay, I guess I just don't have the file to, like, cross-reference. That's fine. Alright. Okay. Alright, okay. Alright, we're on the case. We're on... What? Ooh, hang on. Lunch lady isn't here. Alright, where is everybody? So go with their fun bastard characters, that's fair. Our investigation turned up a suspicious handprint. Right there it is.
Here, in this blood on the
Defective's evidence locker. Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed. I mean, we were given it.
Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. Any finger.
A finger?
Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will have left behind the clearest print.
I mean, yeah, there were two of them. I really can't tell the difference at a glance. Probably the index finger, right?
Quit procrastinating, choose a finger!
I mean, it's either this or the thumb, but the thumb's like kind of sideways, so we wouldn't really get a clear read of it, would we? I'm gonna say the index first. Oh! I wasn't expecting that cut, that was weird.
Okay, now it's time to check for prints.
Reminds me of that Animaniacs joke.
Let me show you how it's done.
Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eyes. It's like when they try to they teach you how to catch a Pokemon. Here, let me show you.
First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around.
Huh? How do you do that? Just dump the fucking thing out.
With the X button, see?
Ah, it looks like that. Looks like that. Ah, it looks like that did the trick.
The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess.
Oh, how is this gonna work? Oh, wait. That's what I was thinking. It looked like there was a smudge next to the blood, right? Phoenix being a himbo? He's not buff enough to be a himbo. He's just okay. What's the triad for a himbo? It's buff, kind, and stupid. So he's just kind and stupid. He's just a good man. Huh? How do I do that? For anyone who's wondering what I'm referencing here, hang on. I'm gonna find the himbo triangle. I don't know what this is gonna pull up. Himbo triangle. I spelled triangle. Where is it? Here it is. Let me just go ahead and drop this link here. I don't even know if this is gonna work. Excuse me.
Now with the triangle button, exciting, I know. Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake.
So this is what you were talking about. Was it? You were telling me about, like, wondering how the blow mechanic was gonna work.
Imagine you're blowing out the candles on the birthday cake. See?
Wow, that looks like fun. Might take some getting used to, though.
It's fine. It won't get up your nose or anything. You just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright.
I guess I'd better give it a try. Okay, so it's just gonna be triangle. Right? Okay, let's just hose it down. I wish there was a sound effect. I don't like that it's silent. That's true. He does have a pretty good set of shoulders on him, doesn't he? Ah, there we go. Got it. So it's just a triangle. It's just a button press. I kind of wish maybe they incorporated like using the sticks or something. Like you had to like push them forward to like blow it or something. That way it would be a bit more like interactive, and then just pressing triangle. I'm like, okay, yeah, you blew on it. Way to go. Way to go, champ.
Aha, you did it! You found one!
If your lawyers ain't how boring would that be? I mean, at least you know they do everything in their power. It won't be much, but they'll do everything they can to help you. But this looks nothing like a fingerprint.
Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't.
What does it mean?
I think it means we're out of luck.
Out of luck?
The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves.
Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here.
Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations.
Glove? Glove?
But it does seem a shame.
Seem a shame. What are you, 70 years old? What kind of phrase is that for a teenager to use?
It does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints?
Other prints?
Looking at the locker door again closely, it seems like there are fingerprints outside the bloody handprint as well.
Okay, so yeah, that is a print.
Let's see if we can find a clear print.
Fingerprints outside the blood. Where could it possibly be? Something in my eye. Stop it. All right, let's just spray our dust around here. Oh yeah, just get it nice and coated. No. Oh man. All right, let's just cover the whole thing here. Man, anyone play the sand game? Ever remember the sand game? It wasn't even much of a game. You just, hey, look at that. Look at that.
Yay, a print so clear it's dazzling.
Oh, wow, dazzling's a word. Dazzling? Picked up old man speak from her sis who picked it from gone. Spray the forbidden sugar. The forbidden sugar. That game made third grade fun, right? A lot of people when I was in junior high. That was when we played it. That was oh man. But there were like different versions of the sand game, and like you had to find the good one, because there was one that was like really shitty, and like it really didn't do anything. Man, but there was one that had like different physics based on what type of sand you were using. That was really cool. And you could like plant, like you could have like plant seeds, like foliage sand that would grow things, and you could have water, and then you could just drop sand and like heat. It was a really cool game. It was a nothing game. It was purely just to waste time. Dazzling?
Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away.
So we're not done yet. This is quite a process.
Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right?
I guess she's right.
Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth. And point out the person you think left these prints.
I had the shitty sand game then. I mean, the thing is that, like, I say shitty. It was still a fine game because it was just fun to like just, you know, have the sand drop and just do whatever you wanted with it. But there was one that was the good sand game. Didn't have friends. I mean, it was just like we had the computer lab in the library. My school was set up. It didn't have like hallways. My high school was like a big square with all the classes, like the classrooms off the side of it, and in the center was the library and like this little this recessed part. Above that was another classroom, but that was just open up to the entire school. But we had our computer lab, or one of our like the library computers there. So like during lunch, I would just play it sometimes. You know, just waste time during lunch. Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was?
I can make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find in this evidence locker?
What? That's not quite. Okay, that's Gumshoe's for sure. Look at that. Oh boy, there's a lot. This is like a different tone. That was totally like weird to me. Ha! I'll try that. Always fill this the screen in one color sand. That's fair. I mean, that's the way you did it. That you just did that, and then you like put all them up, then you just let it go, and it was fun. Good times. I wonder if that still exists. Probably not, because Flash is dead now.
So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look.
I guess it's probably because I was thinking, so what?
Okay, so we came up with nothing but this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss.
It died a while ago? Okay.
You gotta roll the punches, Mr. Wright.
It was fun, yeah. It was fun. I wonder if there's like a comparable game out there now that's like on Steam or something. I don't know. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. Okay, so do I just grab this? Start. Do I need to enter Predator mode again? Will you let me use this? Do I need to just highlight it? Okay, just highlight it.
This is where we got a luminol fluid reaction, right? Right, there was a handprint here. Okay, wanna try using this?
There go her eyes sparkling again. Leave it be. I don't feel like it. Okay, let's check for prints.
That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first.
What?
The area where the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in the area will have been wiped away too.
Oh, right. So that means no prints.
Would you say the probability for is high?
Oh wait, hang on, what?
Would you say the probability for hypothesis is high?
Don't ask me. I'm just dumb.
Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away.
Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand. Possibly. Oh boy. Oh, I just have to select one, huh? Like, what? Prints not wiped away? Am I blind? Is it behind my face? I mean, there would be one here, right? Yeah. I was trying to think about, like, where would the other ones be? But I'm just dumb. Dumb and blind. Okay. And then... Wow. Look at that. Look at that. Actually, I just realized something I need to do. Whoops. Hang on. I forgot. I have to. Look. Things aren't going well. I just remembered I need to text my D&D group and tell them I need to push it back. Hang on. I know this is riveting. We all share brain cells. It's fine. I just realized I'm in Mount. And my wife there we go. I completely forgot. I was like, oh, I should probably text them. I'm gonna have to push it back a bit. Do I need to dust more? Do we need? Okay, we're all right. Fine, fine then. Fine then. We're gonna make this. We're gonna cover this. I'm taking more points now, but all right. Let's go. Come on. Let's just hose it down. Ooh, giving Tulip a treat. Here, let me get this going. I'll get her a treat. She's asleep behind me. It's so warm in here. And like there's nothing we can do to cool her down, unfortunately. Alright. There it is. Alright, let's get those treats. Ugh. Hold, please, while I undo everything here and get myself out of here.
She's giving you a treat. Yeah, she's giving you a treat.
Super low. Oh, kind of burp at me, huh? Oh. Hang on, let's bring it back up to the main cam. Haven't seen the pupper in a while. Here, let's see if I can get her better on camera. Come here. Look there. Come here. Hey, can you sit? What's your favorite dinosaur? A T-Rex. Good girl. You can make Trixie rat. Yes, you can. Hey, she's my good girl. I'll lay down and munch it. You're a good girl. Yes, you are. You're a good girl. I realize I could probably get her to show up a bit better if I get her to do one of her tricks. So yeah, got to see her a little bit, and you got to see one of her tricks. We taught her what her favorite dinosaur is. It's basically a T-Rex. She gets up and it's like sit pretty, but it's not, because I don't know. I've never really liked sit pretty. Possibly I yield A. Hey, the problem is I'm out of USB ports on my computer. So like setting up a cam. Also, she doesn't like lay in one spot. She likes to lay like directly behind me. She has a bed over here, but she doesn't lay on it because it's so hot. But so like, and there's like no good place to put the camera to where you can like see her. If she laid more over here on her bed, I'd probably put it so where it's angled over there. But it's hard to like find a good spot for her to be. Ugh. Okay, back to the game. Back to the past. Alright, Jack. Alrighty, let us continue on. So that might be Gaunt's, actually. That looks a lot like Gaunt's. Let's go through some of these though. Okay, so it's not you. Okay, no, it's the Marshals. It's the Marshals, huh? What's the Marshal doing out here, huh? Hey, these fingerprints, they...
Whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know?
Well, yeah. It's Officer Marshall. 3 exclamation points. It's Do a Twisty. I see I pulled a sneaky on you.
Huh? Officer Jake Marshall?
Marshall's fingerprints added to the court record.
That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. He's too handsome.
Emma, this is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints. The luminol reaction, the blood, and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh. It's the geeky man. It's this geeky ass bitch. So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped blood stain.
But why would Officer Marshall?
It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results. Get excited! I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence.
I don't believe it.
Believe it! How many anime references can I put in this sequence? Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Save your progress? Well, yeah. What time is it? Oh man, it's only 11. We still got 3 whole hours of this shit. Y'all gonna suffer for 3 more hours as I show how much of an idiot I am.
So, what do you think, Mr. Wright?
Previously on Dragon Ball Z. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Frieza fucked Goku. So what do you think,
Mr. Wright?
I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all,
The victim was murdered in two different places at the same time.
oh, that's you. That's not who I'm thinking of. That's the wrong person. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes.
Lana!
Lana! What?
Danger zone.
Yes.
Dear diary. The boy I liked was just convicted for murder.
Phoenix in the background like, yes, fuck you. Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. All-nighters, though.
So how'd it go?
It's as Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain.
A plea bargain? What do you mean by that?
We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma.
But Lana, don't tell me you...
Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Sky. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Blood-stained fingerprints, to be exact. Ah! That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you?
In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall?
We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Here we go. Here we go. It's time. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is...
I'm afraid I have to clarify.
It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. The victim, Bruce Goodman... Marshall... Look, he might be handsome, but he's a murderer. He's a handsome murderer. That's the worst kind of murderer. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time.
But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I'm the victim for the evidence. Room just disappeared.
What, LA traffic is like? I mean, yeah, no. It takes half an hour. What were you, a block down the street?
Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edwards' car.
Wow, this is one messed up trial. Looks like a golden retriever. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself.
Now, what sets Mr. Edwards apart? He sounds so on top of things.
Well, Phoenix is like, I know. He's like trying to adjust himself.
Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself.
Not supposed to be an admirable trait?
But the trial was... On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edward, you may call your first witness to the day of the time.
For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department.
What's that? You mean the so-called murderer?
Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. It's just a wild time here in court. Meekins. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir. I'm Officer Mike Meekins. Mike Meekins. Sir, my occupation is, happy murderer, sir!
So that's why I saw a professional killer.
Sir, it was me, sir! I'm the one who did it!
I'm the lucky everyone again, sir. You've got it, sir.
Got a warm bread about the trial, damning piece of it. What? Uh-oh. Got your ass off.
Sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir.
Oh, you're a zoomer. Actually, this was before. This was in 2006. Well, it takes place in like 2030 or something like that. And if you save correctly, it'll make you lose no matter what. Really? Oh, jeez.
A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend.
Please, Mr. Edward, sir. Help me, sir.
Officer Meekins,
Yes, sir.
give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order. Well, we're on the last day of the trial, I think.
Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I'm part of the generation of what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm.
It's the definition of, he's a little confused, but he got the spirit.
Crime report, sir.
Although, oh boy.
Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fell for my life. Then I did it. After that hit Mickey, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
Where they tell you to present key evidence and you can choose to do so or not. Okay. Gone asks for it. Okay.
$2 before they do it to you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
Wow, your family sounds like a bunch of shitheads, dude.
I see. But you waited, and a colleague helped you work.
Yes, sir. He knocked me outside the head, sir.
By the time I'm done with this game, the judge is just going to be a bunch of grunting noises. Just what I need to hear is more info to work with. All right, let's cross-examine the fuck out of this boy. All right, I don't want to read through that again. The monkey. All right, let's press that. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Or, as I like to call it, the GAD. Does Josh work there?
Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir.
Oh, boy. Who assigned you that duty? Yikes, now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir, the lovely police mascot created by the chief of detectives, sir.
Speaking in Morse code,
I was really sure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
this is just Larry, but more manic. Which I didn't think was possible, and yet here we are.
Sounds like a very important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Tell us, what did you see when you got there? A suspicious man. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct?
Precisely, sir.
Just watched a girl do an awkward falling walk out of her truck. This truck. What?
Precisely, sir. I have one rider ear on my neck.
So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right?
There it is. I found it. This is the one right here.
Could you please put us on the book?
Yes, sir. It's 498-9596. That's my number, sir.
I see. Huh? But the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice. This music Larry Butts and Ishimaru from Danganronpa. That's fair. That's fair, Naps. Please explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir. The first time was when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time was when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
So it was during the second time when
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen.
Suddenly attacked. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us what happened? Or exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir. A knife.
Someone pulled a knife on you? What happened then?
Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was.
You aren't exactly the kind of person. Gotta be ready for work. Thanks, Citric. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one. Good luck with work. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. Fucking savage, Phoenix. Damn.
That's what I reckon, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus struggling to detain him.
I'm just gonna flail my arms, and if you get hit, that's on you.
That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't beat. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. But for my life, then I did it.
What exactly do you mean when you say you did it?
I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him.
You took his knife?
I spun around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
See. He must have been desperate.
The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood, and the next thing I knew,
Yes.
he punched me right in my face, sir.
About what time did you regain consciousness?
No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious.
Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain.
That's nice. I mean, it's nice to recover, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir, the Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand.
Well, we can all rest easy now. The Blue Badger is safe.
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Meekins.
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gaunt delivered it to me just this morning, sir.
The chief delivered it?
What was that? Was you Pete?
Let's be honest, the only person who would recognize the tape would be probably Phoenix, Edgeworth, and the judge. I don't think Meekins or Emma know what the hell a tape is.
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased.
That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at.
Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me.
Fuck Gaunt. Fuck Gaunt. All my homies hate Gaunt. Video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Let's see. So, yeah, this is 5:15. Oh, it's actually animated. Oh, what? I mean, maybe. It just scares me. It's just frightening. It's animated. I wasn't expecting that. Again, no, we never see his fucking face. I wasn't expecting actual 3D animation. What? It does feel, doesn't it, boy? That was horrifying.
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing.
Right, Chixie?
How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stored within us?
What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir, or the CAD. It's the blue matter, sir.
Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Security video!
Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone. In the evidence room and activity,
Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekins?
Yes, sir. As you wish, sir.
Mystery Man. Ooh, he's a mystery man. I'm gonna save. I don't want to go through all that again. Oh, trial former. That means there's gonna be a second part to this shit? Oh, fuck.
His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint, too. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
what's this about a fingerprint?
Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. No. That's one way we're going to cross examine.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. All right, let's. You're ready for a good cross-examination there, Meekins? Ah, wait, no, hang on, go back. Hold it! Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife?
Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter.
You're an idiot. The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not?
What's the point? You're the person who fought him, aren't you?
Oh, yes, sir. But I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking to them, you see.
Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer.
Still, I'm sure it was him. I bet my badge on it.
But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face.
Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must label people as having seen or not seen it.
Since the first couple years ago in the video, at least you can verify it.
Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stance as disturbing or...
Shut up, Meekins!
Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify.
Yes, sir.
You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him.
About these lockers, is there no other way to open them?
No, sir. I myself tried all methods of kinds of methods in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir.
I wonder what kind of methods he's tried.
If the problem with the locker stock was only such these fingerprints, then he must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my point, sir. And this too.
How do you know that information?
I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir.
People in the know?
The workers in the department cafeteria, sir. They keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic troubles.
Sir, I bet you have plenty of them, Meekins. For the record, Meekins has problems with the ladies, or the men. We're not sure yet. The open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source.
The victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
Daughter, how are you now? Welcome. How you been? It has been a while.
So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
You're in time to watch me do the most annoying voice I've done on this channel, probably. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face.
Sir! If I may say something, sir.
Please do. After all, you're the one being examined.
I understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir.
My body.
My unsettled state can testify after this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
I'm doing all right, daughter. Bit tired. That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it.
Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again.
Is there a problem with the security video? I don't know. Is there? Excuse me. I don't know. There's a bunch of blood there, so that's Meekins' blood at that point? And it's not. Boy. Howdy. I mean, there probably is, but I don't know what it could possibly be. Let's watch the video again. The light's already on. Hold on. The light of the locker's already on. Okay, yeah, no, okay, that's weird. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? You think it is such a contradiction?
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edward.
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out.
Before them inspect this piece of evidence. I want to break the security. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that.
You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video.
Oh, okay.
Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video.
There's an issue. I mean, same daughter, I'm always inclined to be like, once they present me a thing where it's like, yeah, there's a problem, I'm always like, I mean, yeah, there probably is, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be giving me this choice. How does this guy ever become a police officer?
No, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman?
Okay. Okay. Pause! Present this? Well, the music stopped. That's a good sign, right? The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins.
Sir, do you mean me, sir?
As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. Why is this music playing? When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. Who's the picture in who is that? In, Gumshoe's locker there. The light turns on and the lock is released.
According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir.
If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture. It's a picture of Maggie. Do we meet Maggie later? Is it a character later on? When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker. Let's rewind to a little earlier. How convenient that the Blue Badger malfunctions right then, right? We've met her yet, actually. She has the next name. Okay. I mean, I remembered we hadn't met her yet. I was curious if that's a character we meet later on. Here, notice the light?
It's already lit.
Lit. The most half-assed fucking... Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle.
Order, what's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. Lit, bruh. I spat everywhere. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. Not yet, Naps. She's a sweetie. Aw. Then I look forward to eventually meeting her. The cadence is gonna be all kinds of whack, because after this we're gonna be playing after Ace Attorney, I might take a break and play just something. Maybe I don't know. Well, we'll see what we do after Ace Attorney. But then after that, we're gonna go to Ultra Spare Girls, and then Ace Attorney 2, and then Danganronpa 3, and then and then Ace Attorney 3, and then I don't know what after that. When the door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, by now it must have broken down. Of course, I've got an expert on this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. Sensor will detect and report any malfunction.
Come on, I just go to the stove almost keep my mouth shut. Come on, Mr. White. You have an explanation?
Yeah, I've heard UDG is a bit of a fucking trip. So I'm honestly a little concerned for it in terms of like Twitch TOS, because of what y'all have told me. Like some people have told me, like, not what happens, but that it gets real dark and a little questionable in terms of content. So I'm a little concerned about Twitch TOS with that one.
Tell them, Mr. White. Do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Yes. Well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Is it shorter? Like, how much shorter? Is it like Trigger Happy Havoc short, or is it like shorter by like an hour compared to fucking Goodbye Despair? I think Twitch is fine with it. I know about Twitch's like banned games, but it's not a comprehensive list. It's mostly porn games that they don't allow. And like, I don't think Ultra Despair Girls goes that far, but again, like, just, the way y'all have talked about it, it makes it sound like it's like borderline okay for like content.
Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor?
The glove! Something... Jam the sensor. Say... There's something else that seems out of place in this video.
Yeah, I thought so too. There's got to be another clue somewhere in this footage.
And he's still like, what? Yeah, right, daughter? He's like, yeah, I'm a lawyer. Huh?
Let's check the video once more. The locker wasn't locked, Mr. White.
What did you say? Hang on. Playback.
Please put in the cause of this.
Okay. Let's fast forward. 20 hours. Oh, that's not bad. I can get that in like 5 streams then. Ha! It'll probably take me a bit longer just because talking and trying to be funny, which I'm not good at. That usually makes the gameplay go a bit longer. Oh, Also, I'm stupid, so, you know, you have to factor that in. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. Yep. Oh, here it comes. Watch out, boys. He's gonna get stabbed.
What's this? What's this? Wait, fell in the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are opened. I haven't fallen out in roller rages since when I opened my car door, sir.
We can't be sure. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
That thumb looked hella weird. What? There's almost no logic. Oh, really? Oh, good. Good. The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Insulted?
I'm gonna leave that one alone. That's low-hanging fruit. Come on. Oh, does he have a weird thumb when he walks by? Okay. This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor.
Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times I get stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me.
But the underwood have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Well, it just so happens that that is the perfect descriptor of the white glove that we have. Extremely thin.
Not only that, but that it would also have to block electrical currents.
Rubber.
It would need to be an insulator. That's what I thought, but at the time.
There just might have been something that fits the description. Heh. Smug Phoenix.
But, sir,
By insulator. Oh, fucking. Why does it. Stop! I need to read! I think I finally got this figured out.
Well, please present the relevant evidence. What was this insulator that was stuck in the locker door?
This glove. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove. We need smug anime girls so you have smug Phoenix. It's very true.
But we can be sure that was in the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says Sl9 Incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins and Terabang?
sir, it would appear so, sir.
Order! So why would you believe them? That's a victim.
Wait, Phoenix is an anime girl? Phoenix is the best anime girl. You kidding me?
Whom was to start with the evidence room was not a victim woman. Do not be misled, Your Honor. What do you mean, Mr. Edward? The defense has merely demonstrated the possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman.
He rides a bike to the office. Is he late? Does he have bread? Does he have toast in his mouth? Because that checks off like 2 of the 3 boxes to be an anime girl.
The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What?
Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir.
Is this a joke? I mean, this entire trial is a joke, Phoenix. Let's be honest here.
Remember, begin your testimony. Mr. Van Poo.
There's one other thing that proves a man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card.
There is an official illustration of Phoenix on a bike with an egg toast in his mouth. Well, like I said, the 2 or 3. I don't know what the 3rd is, but that's enough for me.
When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim. Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt this was the victim's ID. However, one thing just struck me as unusual. Several hundred cases were due for transfer. Why were there so few people using this room? This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases.
Special cases?
Extremely violent cases involving police staff.
Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too. Although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transfer there, and most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let's move on to the cross-examination.
Okay. Okay. Alright, let's save. Let's press that. Oh, my voice is getting tired. So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you?
Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. If my head wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give you the fever victory sign, sir. Couldn't he just use his right hand for that?
Let's hear him out fully. What we've seen, one more number over a second.
Evidence room, your ID card. Is that card hanging from your neck on one of these ID cards?
Yes, sir. It's got right next to my cuff, sir. I'll keep it here so I won't ever forget it.
What if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that?
Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times my tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. And instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me.
Maybe I should just leave this one alone.
At any rate, each police officer only has only one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this. Please remove your testimony.
Record of it. Let it be noted that this is the record of the witness referred to.
Let's see. Must that be it? Detective Goodwin?
What's the matter?
According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here. So it is, Your Honor.
Is he lovable? He's just kind of an idiot. Not that prosecutor again. Hey, maybe he's behind all this. Being a prosecutor, he could hide the evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer? Shh, don't stare at him. You've got the wrong color, kid.
At the scene, the inquiry committee.
I like idiots. That's fair. That's fair. He's more level 1 apologist. Oh, he makes a comeback in Apollo Justice. Why did they make Meekins a recurring character of all people?
The inquiry committee won't want to speak with you again. I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let's continue with the cross-examination.
Poor Mr. Edgeworth. It must be so difficult for him.
For his thick eyebrows. He's got those, the Fooly Cooly detective eyebrows. They made Larry one? That makes sense, though, because he's a childhood friend of Phoenix. Like, that makes sense that he's a recurring character. Who brought their child to court for a murder case? At the time of the crime, the detective would use his card. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you.
Yes, sir. He didn't show me an ID card, sir.
Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife.
Maybe he just panicked?
Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out.
Mr. Wright, what do you think?
I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. Is it? It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this.
You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got.
I mean, the ID card was found at the prosecutor's office. Like... Okay, 42189. But, I mean... Like, we have... Boy, I don't... What? Yeah, there's a record of it. Goodman's desk yet? Maybe? I don't remember. I think we did, Iole. I think we did last time. I don't remember, though. That's definitely Goodman's. I have no idea who the top one is, Chixie, and I'm doing a heckin' concern about it. Gosh, dang it. Okay, so I really, gosh, dang it. Let's see. Funny. Funny, fuck, 420 blazer, funny weed number. It takes half an hour to drive from the police department to the prosecutor's office. And an hour and a half of 4 p.m. This was at 5:12. No, you're fine, Trixie. Hang on. There's something fucky there at the time. It takes half an hour to drive from the prosecutor's office to the police department, and vice versa. The half-filled out form from Goodman's. Is that the important one here? Okay, let me submit to the chief of police. But hang on, let's see. So, like, here's the thing. He entered at 5:14. Edgeworth checked in his car at 5:12, and we allegedly saw Lana shortly after that. Because they said it was around 5:14, wasn't it? No, that tracks. He went in, did whatever he needed to get, got the screwdriver out, and then drove back half an hour to the prosecutor's office. Miles, like, Edgeworth's tracks. But then Bruce Goodman being there at 5:14 is the exact same time as the prosecutor's office, which is like what we're trying to solve, right? So, like, we can't know for sure that that's Bruce Goodman, even though he used his ID card. Also, they said that there was a murder at the police department. There's no body. Okay. And this one's got, like, yeah, like the 5 and then scribble out the 9. Wait. Meekins.
Did you write this?
Alright. Alright, chat. I have no idea what it is. Cause like I've found some contradictions, but I don't see how they apply to this right now because I've got nothing here. Because Meekins is allegedly 4989596. And then 5842189 is Bruce. But how do I point out that his ID is fucky? Like that's the question I'm running into here. Is I don't know what the deal is with the IDs right now. Like there's some weird shit going on here, but I don't know what I present to. Goodman's ID or Goodman's lost item report. Okay. Someone's ID card. Goodman's ID or Goodman's lost item report. Okay. I just don't get how that, like, how that's supposed to, like... Okay. Thanks, Naps. I just don't get, like, how that's... I don't know. Okay. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. It's like, sorry, y'all. I'm stupid. And, like, I just don't... my brain... I keep hitting my fucking microphone. I'm gonna fucking throw myself out of a window. Gonna defenestrate myself because of it. My brain can't make that connection. I just don't know... I don't see it, I guess. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene. Like, that was weird, right? But it's like, his body was found there. Of course his ID card would be there. That makes sense. When I say crime scene, I don't either, Trixie. I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot of the prosecutor's office. I vocalized that. Y'all were there. I said that's weird. We found this elsewhere. But I don't feel like that's enough to really be like, oh, that doesn't match up. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. Phoenix, don't do this to me, my guy. Whoop. Hang on. Screen went black. Hang on. Hold, please. Hold the phone. Hang on. I know how to fix this. I know how to fix this now. Hang on. Do that. That should fix it. Hang on. Okay, come back. Let's send it back to custom. If it'll work. I don't know if it will. There we go. Hey, we're back. I don't know, like, I guess maybe the USB connection's, like, wonky for my Elgato, but sometimes it just cuts out, and I don't know why. We finally got up to him. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
Report. This will have completed.
But it showed that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report.
Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right?
I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. Okay, that makes sense. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order! Let the prosecution have a response. I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright.
Bravo.
Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are 2 grounds to support this. Don't choose a mastiff. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright?
Yes. What's he up to?
That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murderer in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder.
That is... Well, I guess that's right.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing a finger around.
This isn't going to end well.
Well. It seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
There's no damn body. Right? Bad as a pit bull in a good way. Sweetheart looks scary as scary way, that's fair. I love pit bulls. They're so cute.
Explain yourself, Mr. Epper. The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment that the defendants used the murder weapon.
Ah! Ah! I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning. Right?
The activity of the weapon still leaves plenty of questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim of the Meekins encounter? And where did this person disappear to? Well, this trial proposes to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman. Just so, Your Honor.
Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana.
What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess?
I thought I say it.
Do you object? I don't think so, because... Oh, hydrate. I didn't see the hydrate, daughter. I'm so sorry, I didn't see it. Thank you. Now I have it set up. I don't see notifications on this screen, so I have to... I only have it here. I don't think so, because Boy said it was gone. That causes the issue, right? Fucking dumbass. Myself being the dumbass. I don't know. I would want to say we object, like...
We've already safe-scummed a little bit here, so we gotta cut it.
Like, my initial response is always just say object and be like, let's see what happens. But I just don't know. We're gonna object. We're gonna go with it. We saved. We'll come back here. One moment, Your Honor.
What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven.
Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap.
What are you talking about?
Nah, I'm good, Naps. We're going with it. We saved. We'll save, scum. I don't care. I don't give a shit. This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Okay, thanks for that. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Yeah, it just shows Meekins getting his fucking shit rocked. Like, specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edward? Yes, Your Honor. If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses would be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated.
Can't talk clickbait. Well, fuck. There's the title of the YouTube video.
We've not prepared any other witnesses for this incident.
This just might be my chance. This is my moment. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Mr. Wright, do you mean...
Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness.
Whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then. Right. The person whom you would like to testify. What is his or her name?
Jake Marshall, age 33, single and ready to mingle. A patrolman investigating the incident at the prosecutor's office. Thinks he's a cowboy. Has a big dick. Let's just keep it going, huh? Officer Jake Marshall.
Why him?
I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say. Want to mingle his neck?
The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a total of witness until the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time? We will, Your Honor. Court is in recess. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out.
I haven't figured anything out. I'm just here to have a good time.
Lana, you're the one who knows everything.
Emma?
You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
Fuck.
Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Gumshoe just bursts and just... Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around
Run all around.
while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? What is happening?
You mean this, right?
My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name?
Never in a million years would I have thought it was you who asked me. Can I bother you to bring me the Sl9 Incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. I feel like I'm going crazy.
The Sl9 Incident?
But Lana, that's...
I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't read. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
Sky was a witness? Files for the Joe Dark killings, solved 2 years ago.
Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with serial murders. Oh, what? Now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me?
It's Emma, but why? Why is your name in here? A twist!
What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... Am I dead?
Are you dead?
No, it couldn't be. Lana, the Sl9 Incident, is that...
That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings.
The Joe Dark... No. No, Lana! That's over with! No!
Emma, wait! She ran away. Wonderful. Great.
You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here.
Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gaunt, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. In quotation marks for some reason. Knowing you might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. Alright, a dramatic twist. So once upon a time, I thought about, like, I knew about, like, I've heard of, like, dramatical murder, and I was like, I wonder if I could play that as a game. That's apparently on Twitch's banned games list. You cannot play dramatical murder on Twitch. Which I thought was interesting. Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime scene. Of the crime. Oh, the crime. I can read. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I don't get a trouble. That's my name. If you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I never heard Edward described that way before. Holy shit! Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? According to the papers, partner. The whole flask in his mouth. You have to consume the flask? That desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up. Maybe we're supposed to get out with this quickly. Please show us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Alright, now. Day of the crime. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. Bone orchard? It's the name of my autobiography. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street-side saloon when the time went down. Getting drunk on your job? My guy. My dude. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I'll be security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks?
What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This don't seem like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours. Fucking kill him.
Alright. Time to press Marshall. How exactly did you keep an eye on the evidence room? You said you were out drinking.
I just made sure nothing moved in security camera monitor. That room's so still, even time dies in there. I was the caretaker who interred the recordings.
You interred them?
Videos are nothing aren't that useful. When the time will come, I'd erase the tape. If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes will be erased every 6 hours. Each time I'd erase the tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life.
This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but it isn't going to do him any good. So, in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room. I don't know, daughter. Maybe. But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right?
Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
No desperado I know lets rules get in his way.
No desperados I know join the police force.
I got my wife texting me. Hello?
Okay, that's gonna be episode. I'm gonna have to read through that.
What's Marshall on the day of the crime? Between you and me, I didn't step foot in the evidence room that day.
That's bullshit.
There was a rubber glove stuck on the victim's locker. You don't think about that? Sorry, partner. Can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks.
How does this guy avoid being fired? That one's bullshit. Except I don't have anything to... I can't press that because that's not what he says. Well, I guess making his rounds, I could contradict that, but with the bloody handprint? Maybe? I don't know. You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct?
Of course, back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence.
And yet you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism?
Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works.
That's quite, incredible.
The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence.
Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too.
I don't know what it doesn't feel like this is why I went with the crime. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place?
What were you doing in a place like that?
I was eating spaghetti. Not even angel steaklers can beat that Paula's Vongole sepia pasta. You mean to tell us you abandoned your police to eat some noodles? Not all desperados eat tacos, partner.
Get it? Get it? Spaghetti Western. That's the joke.
Mr. Wright, Uncle Stan hasn't at least taught you a lesson.
That's strange. This is usually where Edward says,
Did you know how to raise this year?
"Is a traveling man." Out of ammo, Officer Marshall?
That's right, partner, or as you call it, evidence. You plan to pin me to this crime, then you better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset. One thing's clear. If I'm responsible for guarding the evidence room, then witness doesn't appear to have seen anything. Texans don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that.
Fuck. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it, though, I'd better up the ante. I mean, I guess let's present, this one, right? Nope. Nope, that's it. Health is gone. The evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. Nope. Take this place. Show up with some truth bullets. I really don't know, because this...
right, let's read through this. I haven't read any of this yet. Let's read through this.
Incident number Sl9, closed, perpetrator Joe Dark, crime, serial murder, sentence, death. Victims, Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, and Neil Marshall. Okay, interesting. Trial data, head prosecutor Miles Edworth, witnesses Lana Skye and Emma Skye. Investigation Task Force, executive investigators Damon Gaunt and Lana Skye, head investigator Bruce Goodman, investigators Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. Okay. I really thought showing the bloody handprint of the Marshall's fingerprints would have been like, no, you were there, asshole, but apparently that ain't the case. But then again, well, we don't know who went at 420 still. Don't know who Lucky Sevens are. I said it on this one, Naps. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Help me out here, chat. I got it wrong once. What's the next one? What's the correct answer? Bum, 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 bum. Thirsty. Street side saloon. Okay. Cremating some more than before the handprint is brought in. We'll find out. The music stopped, so thanks, Naps. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd that is you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crib. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprint to be in there. Oh. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
What's the meaning of this? Your blood and fingerprints were at the crime scene.
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall?
It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders.
Huh?
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints? Oh, you may get your testimony about your fingerprints. Found at the scene of the crime.
See that shoulder point? Bloodstained fingerprints got. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't he know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it.
The witness explanation appears valid. Although there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
Let's explain now closer to the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. I can feel it in my bones. Alright, let's just press the fuck out of Marshall. That's because you, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said.
That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
Ooh, got a connection issue. That was funky. We good? Got a connection issue on my end, apparently. I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it.
That's funky. This looks good for you? Okay, cool. I think I'm still good over here, so... Alright. Don't know what happened there.
One of them happened to be the same place as a bloodstained handprint. Is that true, or is that bullshit? So then, what about the bloody handprint?
Well, man, it's no mystery. What did you say? My locker's covered with my fingerprints. Just so happened. I'm gonna touch the locker.
The chances of that happening are 1,000,000 to 1.
On the contrary, one could argue just the opposite. Chances of that not happening are 1,000,000 to 1. You want things straight, partner? You ain't gonna get no reward from me with a mere fingerprint. You wanna know why?
But unrelated? Unrelated?
It's different as night and day. Kind of like cereal and cereal. One's got to do with breakfast, while the other's a type of murder. Right? I'm not seemingly like for totally different.
I don't see what homonyms have to do with this.
Murderer's wearing gloves.
How would you know that? How do you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a blood stain at the scene that thought to be left by the murderer.
That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint. That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner?
The picture?
The seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this.
Security tape.
So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere.
It's never getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider covering where you're going with cost accommodation.
Yes, Your Honor.
No problem. Continue cross testimony, Officer Marshall.
Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? Yeah, let's rewatch the video real quick. Alright, let's check this. Okay, so we have the Thing of Nightmares, the lit locker, which we've already addressed. We pan back. This is some Five Nights shit. I hate this so much. There's a weird ass thumb. Ah! Aha! No. The white thing that's sticking out of the locker that I thought was fucking weird to begin with. It's not out right now. See, that locker opened between that dude going over here and going over back out. He stopped and grabbed something out of his locker on the way out. See, there's no white, there's no bit of cloth there. Meekins got his shit rocked. And then when we pan back, there's a bit of cloth sticking out of the locker. Ha ha ha! Alright, let's press that real quick. What do you mean by that?
You almost tied me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. The only direct evidence you have.
But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots. Places you can't see. You know, spots where you're blind.
The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape. That's all conjecture. We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, if your source evidence indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now. I know very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Now, let's have a look at the video. Show us this incriminating evidence of the Officer Jake Marshall.
Alright, let's go through here.
And pop it there. Bringing our attention back to the security camera. Your Nigel Thornberry is showing there, was it? Bringing our attention back to the security camera. Smashing, Marianne. Crazy things. Tim Curry voices Nigel Thornberry, doesn't he? Which is fucking nuts. Or voiced Nigel Thornberry. It's a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon enough forget, Officer Marshall. These are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. Sticking out? That was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Oh, the white cloth! It's gone! What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall? When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Reverses me, his shit wrong. Order. Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So my locker was open. That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it.
Fuck you. Fuck off, you idiot.
The murderer needed to hide something, so we opened the locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault you happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
It does look dumb. Yeah. This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. He's an actual idiot. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say open that locker, now prove it.
Only the assigned Texas prints can unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open.
A fingerprint sensor?
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
Bruh. What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this.
In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks.
So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? The dumbass calling you dumbass, yeah, right?
I've only got one more for you, partner. No! Is he someone in a stand? What the fuck was that? Hold up! If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Dumbass violence.
All right, please answer the question.
What is he now, a bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here. Right? Also, yeah, I noticed that too. Those aren't like cowboy boots. Those are fucking high heels he's wearing.
We can?
Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
Someone. Where was the witness?
It seems that Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it.
Hold, please. Where was Officer Marshall?
At the time of the crime.
He was right here. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
Yeah, but that's what the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct, unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. Yeah, right, Jixie? Like, that's all there is to it.
But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. Also, he doesn't look people in the face. He admitted that himself. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted.
When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir.
Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond?
He said he pulled a knife on me!
Thought we were done with you. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, who would have needed it to enter the evidence room? So he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it.
Oh!
As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it.
You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition. I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
You already said that.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Oh, wait. Is this the decisive evidence part? That sounds like decisive evidence.
We're safe. Let's make sure that we're saved here.
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do? Strip, bitch! You already got the cowboy thing going on. Give these people a show!
It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was open in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to this argument, Officer Dick Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The
fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
Activate your one brain cell. Just rev it up. Just put that little bastard into overdrive.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Singular brain cell goes.
Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker.
Oh, shit. I mean, I imagine it has something to do with... Okay. Oh, I can take this frame by frame! Holy shit! I didn't realize I could do that. Let's see how fast I can get this going. Oh, okay, hang on. I imagine it's because of the blood on his shoulder, right? The only thing I can think of. But then we go back here, and Meekins is down, so I guess... Like, that seems like the only answer, right? He had to clean off the blood. Look at the face of determination on Meekins, though. Look at this lad. He's ready to fucking kill somebody. I guess let's just go with this. It's the only thing I've got. It's the only thing I've got. The music stopped. That's a good sign, right? For some reason, you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman and enter the evidence room, though I don't know what to do, to what end, yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked. I feel like I'm blown the hell out. Can I turn on my light a bit, actually? That might be a bit better. And the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood. Hang on. Adjust a bit more light. I'm blown to hell and back out, I think. I just looked over, I was like, ooh, I am a very pale boy.
A bloody white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that. That's a bit better. So you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner. In quotation marks, because I'm being sarcastic. I was gonna say a different word, a more $4 word, but I couldn't think of it. No, Officer Marshall. Facetious is the word I was gonna use. What do you tell us the truth? Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, if you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
All right. Seems the time has come. Why is this a testimony? I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. I was suspecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. The victim was really you. But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If someone was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor.
It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Oh, man. Oh, beans. I have to... Oh, what? Oh, shit, son. Fuck. Okay. Just press him. Just press your hard body against him. When you say it, you mean...
Do you even have to ask, partner?
The Sl9 Incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I had anything to do with it. That incident's not over.
What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room?
When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look at the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine.
But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it?
That day was my last chance. That's why
Dressed like him. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman?
if I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere. So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card? I stole that the morning of the incident.
So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report.
I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor of the prosecutor's office parking lot.
Why did you leave it there? The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall?
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight. What do you mean, partner? I mean that fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints.
So who left it open for you? Why would Detective Goodman leave it open for him?
Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself.
But he could because the rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. No. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall. Why, though? You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a one-in-a-million type person. Mistakenly identified for an intruder demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
There it is. When did Edworth get so much influence?
Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry it had to turn out that way.
God, is that sad? I mean, I'm thinking the same thing, Chixie. Because he's an ass, and of course you would have a simple number like that.
I mean, knocking him out and everything.
By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one?
I don't know what to say. I have no words.
We locked Officer Meekins out and...
Managed to escape? So you did use your research beforehand. Or you did... Wait. So you did your research beforehand. Can't read. Can't read.
Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left.
Right, all day.
However, you blooded your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. If someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what's that?
But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blind? The victim showed on that tape is me. I'm not dead yet, partner.
So you stole the evidence from the locker?
Actually, no, I didn't.
What?
Why not? When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone. What? Mr. Edward, where was that evidence? It's still missing, Your Honor.
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing?
Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
Why did you do this? Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer? This is no small offense.
Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution.
Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with. So what is this unusual matter of zeal? Let's hear more.
Why? But that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
I wasn't told the what's wrong. Joe Drunk was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence. I remember the Joe Drunk case. It involved serial murders, didn't it? I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down at that trial. Something no one will talk about. What happened? I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should present him with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling we'd wind up here sooner or later. Everyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I'd better take another look at the files. I guess I'll just present here. Present the Sl9 Incident files. It has Marshall's name in it. Like, not just Jake, but Neil Marshall. Oh, music stopped. Good. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the Sl9 incident.
Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner.
I have the Sl9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man?
Neil Marshall. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard that name. 2 years ago,
It's the quenchiest.
he received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
Oh man, he's a cool looking bastard.
What? A prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Drink cactus juice. It'll quench you. It's the quenchiest.
Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the Sl9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands. What's his relation to you? He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gone, the then Deputy Chief of Police.
Ah, that's who the other guy is in this picture. Okay.
The group of detectives I was part of worked under him. We were desperate to prosecute the killer.
Boy. Yeah. Man, you look like a serial killer.
Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. Case was finally closed. At least according to the public records. What do you mean? My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight. And that's it? That's the reason for your insane actions? There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me. Well, there's one thing for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime. That was the last day the Sl9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Look young and old at the same time. Who knows? It's those people that, like, you look like a 40-year-old man or an 8-year-old child. Like, have you seen pictures of people like that? Like, it's insane. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. Chance? It's gotta be more than just that. So someone was murdered at the police department on the day of a crime. That means the murderer in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one. Which, in turn, means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky. But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. It seems to me this boy's got the draw on you, partner. All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Ah! I rest my case. Slave again? It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt. Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time. 24 or something. I mean, some people just have, like white hair. They start going... I mean, I knew people who, like, started going gray at, like, 18. People going bald at 18, too. Like, fuck. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty. Well then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Emma?
Your Honor, wait!
Emma?
The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right?
What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, in a sense?
Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please?
I don't want to leave any loose ends. Do you want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Oh, hey! Look at that!
I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the Sl9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing, the other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But the fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again.
So did you find something?
That's a soft spot for kids. Doesn't he have, like, a younger sister or something? Am I thinking of... I don't know. Am I thinking of... What's her name? Pearl? Is that the other, Maya sister?
No.
Huh? Huh?
Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad, I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have left. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Boy, that's a lot of pressure, kid.
Me?
Oh boy.
Now then, Mr. Wright.
Franziska. That's not what I was expecting from Miles Edgeworth. Pearl's their cousin. Got it. Okay. I know of Pearl, but I don't know, like, anything about Pearl.
Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, was anyone just any wisdom of that brain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still.
Filter?
She's from Carm's. Oh, interesting.
If you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
These answer my questions, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. I don't know.
What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could it be something I'm missing?
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I don't know. Could there be something wrong? I mean, probably, right? There's probably something wrong with it, right? There's probably something wrong with it, right? This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. I don't know if it do, though. The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright. Well, yeah. Starring putting it on those problems. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something that hasn't been drawn on there?
Yes, something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
I mean, yeah, the blue badger's not there.
This planet once isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans?
The videotape? The videotape?
Say backwards, even a blind man can hit with buckshot. That is, so long as he's facing the general direction. Seems Mr. Wright's not sure which direction to face.
It's no use. The more evidence there is, the greater the chance of me being wrong. Please calm down, Mr. Wright. Try to remember what the evidence room was like on the day of the crime.
Okay, so it's not the video. Okay, so it's not the video. Let's see. Missing in the floor plans. Oh, excuse me. Item to prove on the video, but not the floor plans. Oh, I see. So it's like the actual blue badger itself. Right? Okay, here we go. That makes sense. Thanks, ILD. I was like, the video shows the blue badger there, so that's gotta be it, right? But I forgot I had the blue badger as an actual piece of evidence.
What about that piece of plywood?
The blue badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The blue badger is not here. So? So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. The blue badger. Well?
What? Oh! Gasp!
That's right. So long as the blue badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker.
What? What donation? What in the Sam hell? So that means, just exactly what's that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Mr. Wright, how did you get over here? Think it through scientifically.
Emma!
On that afternoon,
there's a handprint on the fucking blue badger.
Officer Meekins was the one who brought the blue badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the blue badger was brought in?
Moment, I'm not allowed such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom. Balderdash!
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor.
Some nice looking heels. But it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time. Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered. That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim. The murder portrayed... there's a lot going on right now. There's a lot happening, and I don't know if I necessarily follow what's going on. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? I don't fucking know, Phoenix! To summarize, the defense claims that 5-year-olds are arguing. Oh no. 6 hours, that's true. Prior to Officer Meekins being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in the upper floor. That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this. Well, then tell us. When did this first incident occur? As everyone said, proof must be presented. Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that. There is? I don't know that it is. Yeah, the ID number is also sus. No problem. Well, please present evidence. What shows when the first crime took place? I don't know. This says 420. Here's the thing, it couldn't have happened. Boy, howdy. Yeah, right. I don't think it's a bunch of. Yeah, well, there's murder. Actually, 2 murders. No, there's only 1. What? Wait, no, wait. Actually, there was another one. Hang on. But here's the thing. When did it happen? Because if... I don't know which locker Edgeworth would have went into to get the evidence from that Gaunt wanted. But... oh no. Oh, beans! So Edgeworth went in. It couldn't have happened before because he would have seen it. So like that rules 420 out, right? But that's like the only thing that could possibly... I don't know. Huh. That's all I've got. That's all I've got. Let's go for it. Fuck it. YOLO. Took place inside the Emerson. The killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required. An ID card? Oh, the ID card marker. The music's still going, so this doesn't seem right. Officer Meekins brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Ah! Ah! Miles, Edgeworth, just what have you done? I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me. Hope I ain't getting it. I'm afraid I don't understand either. It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. Yeah, that's kind of the thing, right? That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away, but by the real murderer. I would have had to just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. Unfortunately, he says. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room. Let's look at the chart again.
There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777.
Talk about a lucky number. Wait! That doesn't make sense. How could it have gone and have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777. Or septuple sevens.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 777777777.
That's 172. Yeah, that was one too many. I was like, that's 8 sevens.
That's 17 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least at present.
What? Interrobang?
Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
That seems flawed. That seems like a flaw in the system. But that's ridiculous. Just how...
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority. If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted.
An official charge?
You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
Look at him, it's sus. Gaunt's a sussy baka. You ever say something and just immediately hate yourself for it?
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask you a question. Yes? No, not you. To her. The defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive.
Lana?
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. You can't speak to murderers. They're not people. Of course we've looked up her ID number, and it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask.
Gaunt, stop being such a sussy little baka. You're so sus.
Ooh, Gaunt's a sussy baka. Committing murders.
It physically wounds me every time I do that. It damages my soul. It damages the very essence of what makes me a human being.
All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
Sussy bara.
Yes, about an incident. Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor.
I'm sorry, daughter.
In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time,
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did.
Lana?
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the only ones being suppressed by the law.
Pundit, just what are you saying? I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did? Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Oh, why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
But Lana...
Even if it involved forging evidence.
See, that's what I'm talking about. No! No! Order! Order! Order!
Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. Oh, shit. Damn, we knew, but damn, right? They've only been talking about it for the last 7 hours. Boo-doo. Oh my gosh, I thought it's not over. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. Let's keep this shit going, huh?
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm so sorry for what my sister said.
The crimes require drastic measures.
That's just the way it is.
We did what we had to, in order for him to get the verdict he deserved.
I didn't know. I never knew that the Sl9 Incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me.
Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean, what happened to you?
It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
When he murdered, he's a handsome looking man.
When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
What did you have to do with those killings, Emma?
On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me.
What? He tried to kill you?
Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me.
Right, daughter? How do you gotta read about this, right? Keep up with current, like, big cases.
So that means you?
Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial.
Well, yeah, I read the file. It said you were one of the witnesses. I didn't see that one coming. It's in the file! We read the file! It's in the file!
It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season.
February? Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark.
Joe Dark.
It seemed like he was running from someone, and he pulled out a knife and screamed at me.
16, Jixie. So she would have been 14 at the time of this.
I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jake Marshall's brother.
Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then...
What happened?
Oh, excuse me, I'm adjusting.
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck, and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
Permanent picture?
I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall.
Yeah, she's still a fucking kid. Like...
So you weren't able to testify about that?
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
Made it up? You even provided bogus evidence.
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth?
Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean, it's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened.
So it's true. Even though he may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today.
She must not have not been able... she must not have been able to face up to what she did. Especially not to Emma. What about the permanent picture? What did you see in the instant that crime occurred?
Dark knocked Mr. Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Fucking onion-headed bastard.
Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out.
Maybe needed. I think that's an understatement there, Jixie.
When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
Poor Emma. You must have been through so much.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
2 years ago. You must have been 14. That's understandable.
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies, and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Something puzzling. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor?
Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police?
Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective offices in the questioning room are right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective.
I think that's the thing. He was gonna go kill Lana.
She was the best in the entire force.
What? That's news to me.
After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective? I better have another talk with her.
All right, I guess we're going to go talk to Lana. Detention center. How are you now, Lana?
Lana!
Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul, why should we?
But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty.
Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you.
Oh.
About how you were a detective 2 years ago. And how the Sl9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about the unusual change of jobs?
I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright.
Today's trial. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case was largely connected to another one 2 years ago.
Evidence from that case was stolen as well,
though I expected as much.
I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul.
Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department.
Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said about you stabbing Mr. Goodwin with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us?
Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before.
She's normally so unflappable. She's flapped now.
It's true.
I was a member of the police force 2 years ago.
She was amazing.
Look at that swole, handsome prick.
They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gaunt cracked together.
Chief Gaunt?
He was a deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes.
Damon Gaunt. He was everything I aspired to be.
They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed.
Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened?
I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could use that experience in court, right?
Gaunt's help in the Sl9 case was crucial to its resolution.
After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office.
Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. The Dark investigation.
2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark.
Second in command? That means the investigation led by the investigation lead was Damon Gaunt, right?
Yes, Chief Deputy Gaunt and I shared the same office and the same investigations.
They even had the same office.
We led a team of the very best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me.
Now you tell us.
Damon Gaunt and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited till Gaunt and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Chief Deputy Gaunt, Deputy Chief Gaunt, and myself.
I don't think so. He was in the same room as Gaunt. It sounds like he was going for Lana, for whatever reason.
That's where he found me.
So, you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana?
It appears so.
Why didn't Gaunt go after him?
I was filing some papers while Gaunt and Marshall were questioning Dark.
Jeezy Pete's.
When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood.
What happened to Dark? Dark didn't kill Marshall. Gaunt did. 3 bodies. Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out,
and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious.
What did you do?
To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her.
Can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through.
After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest.
Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the Sl9 incident.
That's right. Quite a coincidence, hmm?
I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance.
But that case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved.
Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories.
That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right?
Yes, in the office that Damon Gaunt and I shared. The office that Mr. Gaunt now occupies by himself. The Chief's office.
Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office, the site of the final Sl9 murder. Alright. I guess we're going here. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere.
Things seem kind of quiet around here today.
You're right. The Chief of Detectives seems the same, though.
Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to?
Right. We can come back here later. I guess we'll go to the entrance? They're on karma situation. Honestly, it probably is. Gaunt's probably the murderer at this point. Howdy, Bambina.
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
I never thought things would turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Okay, Sarah. Okay, Sarah. Wait. Sarah. You don't know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should know my luck when I had to run out when old Billy dried up this morning.
Billy?
Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance. We all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner.
But, Mr. Marshall, why did you do it?
Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I need to know the truth about, it was that one.
Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened?
Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today.
Sure, like, I guess, yeah, just talk to Marshall.
Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. Wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so.
What do you mean, fishy?
Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon.
The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife that, with the broken tip?
That was Joe Dark's, all right. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised.
A question?
The blade of the knife was not a perfect match to the wound the victim sustained.
What does that mean?
It means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased.
Like, the facts have been concealed with forged evidence?
That kicks up behind scars on all of us.
The scars that the Sl9 incident left behind.
I got the looks, but he got the brains. I don't know about that. Your brother was a handsome man. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I just made a detective when it went down. It was our first case together.
How old was he? Your brother?
He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day.
The highest honor? You mean the
King of Prosecutors.
I knew it.
What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor.
Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother.
The day the Sl9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as...
That's right. It was the day of the evidence transfer.
Interesting.
It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years had gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die.
Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty.
There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Mr. Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room.
What about Detective Goodman?
They did something to him too. The commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious.
They? Who are you talking about?
Don't get upset, Bambina. Ugh. I mean Damon Gaunt and Lana Sky. The investigation lead, Damon Gaunt, is second in command, Lana Sky. And there wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers.
After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? I think he's on his way to prison right now, Ayode. His, like, interrogation thing, him saying he's not coming back. I think he's on his way to prison.
Yeah, Damon Gaunt, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective.
Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too.
Tell me, what happened to my sister?
Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out.
Lana's secret? It all started 2 years ago.
So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner?
It was certainly enlightening.
There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. Someone else is the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gaunt. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today.
That was cool. That was fun.
Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Oh, man. Alright, what do we got here?
This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Oh, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did in the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media in tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those.
Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gaunt's office.
Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office.
Fuck. Chief's office. How long do we got? What time is it? 1:30. Got half an hour. Why do you have an organ in your office? What? What is this? What? Okay. Whoa. Where am I?
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door.
Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it?
Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until something. They tried teaching me something. I never could remember where C was.
This guy is the villain evidence, right? Who has a pipe organ in their office? Bad guys. And here's the king shithead himself. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gaunt. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, Righto, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've got my hands full, too, with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And on this provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies! See that big picture on the wall over there? That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. Damn, he was good looking. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Oh, hey, that's the vase! I think it was Ty. He's a Castlevania villain is what he is. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together.
Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago. 2 years ago, wasn't it?
In that case, it's long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend.
Looks like we aren't welcome.
Seems that case isn't over with yet after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gaunt denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Hey, Bill! Hey, Gumshoe! What's up, man? Detective Gumshoe! Aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. Your feet hurt?
From sitting so long?
Actually, from serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No, why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle between you two in court. That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes.
Alright, Gumshoe, what's up, my guy? But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew that evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Sorry. Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. Tom Holland Frogmouth thing? What's the Tom Holland Frogmouth thing? What is that?
It's amazing. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this,
Are there really so many people who hate him?
in our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edward not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies.
Hey, Dick! Keep up the good work!
Yes, sir!
Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat!
Yes, sir!
You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick?
Yes, sir!
Seems you don't have any problems with enemies.
Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edward just might crack.
I think my crack. Mr. Eggworth? Thomas keeping a frog in his mouth? This is the first I've heard of it. I'm usually pretty up to date on the memes. On the hip memes, the hip kids are using these hip days. It's the first I've ever heard of Tom Holland Frogmouth thing.
Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing.
He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything?
The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack.
His final attack? You mean
When he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl.
Me.
it seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl.
That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
The first Spider-Man came out. Jeez, I missed that one entirely. I missed that boat.
Well, what was it?
Oh, let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay?
His powers of recollection never fail to impress.
Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory.
Well, let's talk about Dark's crimes first.
Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman.
A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? The thrill?
One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
With his car? So, it was an accident?
An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal.
He enjoyed it.
An animal?
He killed a man that witnessed the accident. Then he killed... Oh, shit. Hang on. The accident. Then he killed the kid in the second crime.
Fuck. There's too much. That's too much. I can't see what's going on. You talk too much.
And he was killed as well. Finally turned himself in.
He turned himself in? Seemed he was a pretty careless animal.
Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence.
I doubt that. I highly doubt. He murdered like 8 people. Just over the span of like a few, like just, what? Thanks for the hydrate, daughter. Ugh. My voice is getting very tired. It's not used to doing this for 4 hours. So he turned himself in.
Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim.
It sounds like he wasn't a serial killer. This is not a serial killing. This is a man who panicked and just started killing people. This is not a serial killer. Also, this isn't... I feel like this is a mass murder. This isn't a serial killing.
Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed.
That last witness. AKA Emma. Alright, let's show him the switchblade. About this.
Hey, is that...
There's the tag attached to it with the label Sl9 Incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of.
What are you going to do with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. And was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it! Now I remember what... Oh, excuse me, that's the wrong that's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again.
The murder weapon! This knife. It was Joe Dark's, wasn't it?
That's right. We traced it back to the store he bought it at, plus it had his fingerprints on it, too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway. Take a guess where that broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound.
Did it match Dark's knife?
You bet. Down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive.
Well, there you have it in the nutshell.
I don't know what that'll mean, but I'm sure it'll be important later. It's gonna come up.
That's all I know.
Can I ask you one more thing?
What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gaunt.
It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. Not much, Chixie. We looked at the knife, found out that the broken off tip was in Marshall's body. And that's about it.
Chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
That seems like a bad idea. That seems like a flaw in your security system.
What? Really?
But if I let a civilian in there...
Goodness. Tulips dreaming. She was borking. She was growling and then she started borking.
Gotta be charged with breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Simply put, I'd be canned.
Oh.
Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's.
That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Grant murders his coworkers ASMR. Goodness, she's having a big dream.
Oh.
So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind.
I don't know, maybe? What about this? Okay, he doesn't know it. Yep. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. What about this?
I was studying those files and nothing wrong with Mr. Edwards' presentation. I think people are accusing me of done justice. I won't ain't buying it, pal.
You're looking into the case for Mr. Edworth?
It was a pretty big deal while it was going on, you know. After all, serial killer was on the loose.
The law was pretty clear in her confession. Proof showed her guilty. Okay, so no, that's not it either. What can I possibly show to like, get up there? Oh, excuse me. Getting tired. I don't think the security viz can do anything. I don't think Marshall's fingerprints are going to help us. Show him the jar, maybe? That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem like the right thing to do here. Evidence locker's not going to help. Glove's not going to help. Floor plan's not going to help. Last item report's going to help. Screwdriver. Maybe, because it's related to Gaunt. We can say we're returning it to him. Nope. Where's him the knife? I don't know, try this.
About that jar, I think I've seen it somewhere before somewhere.
Somewhere?
Maybe it's one of those memories people have from previous lives.
It's must be the most uninformative detective I've ever met.
Something about it makes me feel uneasy. It's like I'm in the chief's office and he's yelling at me.
Chief gone?
Where could I have seen that before?
Now show him this? Well, I showed him the vase, and he didn't care.
That seemed like it should have been the one, and here we are. Not helping me.
Ugh, I'm so tired. Why am I tired? I have no idea. I have no idea what I need to do to try and... I mean, maybe I don't have what I need. I need to go elsewhere? Maybe I need to be somewhere else and get some other evidence. No one's here today, not even Miss Star.
Everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. We proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case.
Things involving Edward are somewhat important. That's true. Instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty.
Hang in there, Lana.
I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. I mean, I don't like the high prosecutor's office. Is Orth gonna have anything for me? I wonder if Edward is back yet.
There he is. It looks like he's writing something.
What are you doing here?
He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh?
I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allocation to me?
Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
That's Edward for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings.
So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day.
Can I look at that paper you threw down? What's this? I wonder what he was writing before.
Come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look.
Are you crazy? Edward is sitting right there.
Just distract him. I'll check it out.
Hey, Edgeworth. He's writing his diary. Is that Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling around my feet. He didn't even look.
What? Letter of...
If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says, Letter of Resignation.
Resignation? Edward, you don't mean...
I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died.
The flower vase has a rabbit? What? Oh, it does. Son of a bitch, it does. It's got a little... He matches his flower vase. Why would you want to match an outfit with your flower vase, Edgeworth?
But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault.
I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either.
Uh-oh. I think he's serious.
Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something.
This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. He's serious, it says. Sometimes you need a flower bestie. Is that his only friend?
There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to. Nothing I can do, nothing I do can erase that fact.
Yeah, I was thinking, Trixie. Take this to Gumshoe and he might let us in. But you didn't know, did you? I mean that the evidence was falsified.
The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as a prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have.
He does have a lot of that very specific shade of red in his sofa, in his flower vase, in his curtains.
Mr. Edgeworth.
I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Tell me why ain't nothing but a heartache. Tell me why ain't nothing but a mistake. Tell me why I never wanna hear you say I want it that way. Why has it all come to this?
Even Edward can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow?
First last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves.
But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial.
Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this.
What do you mean?
The list of evidence, it seems too short. Most lists run twice as long.
It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd.
After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been a part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time.
Oh! So... Okay, that all tracks. I get it now. So Gaunt had Marshall murdered deliberately, so they would have to switch prosecutors, give it to Edgeworth, who didn't know anything about the evidence, and would just take whatever evidence they handed him to use at the time.
Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time.
That picture. Something seems strange about it.
Could you tell us again about what happened that day?
The day Detective Goodman was murdered. You were participating in a ceremony over at the station, right?
I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Because you were awarded this?
I was receiving awards, can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, and drove over to the police department.
You finished up at the office?
Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. And that is until I was asked to take something back.
Yeah?
Take something back?
Got the Steel Samurai in the back there.
This.
Oh yeah, Chief Gaunt asked you to hold on to that, didn't he?
Yeah, that's... Oh yeah, that's a good point. Von Karma would have been around at that time, huh?
Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office.
That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to?
That's right.
So then you tried to... Is he trying to pin the murder on... That's so weird. What am I doing? I'm showing the picture. This picture is hanging on the wall in Chief Gaunt's office. What's this bitch? I mean, that's what he's doing right now. Ideally.
Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me.
Wait, it has a sword in it, and this new one doesn't.
Yes?
Yeah!
The trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours.
Yes, you're right. I remember now.
Remember what?
That was what the official prosecutor trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design.
A story?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us?
It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. The music stopped. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with two characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story?
Me? Sure, everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though, for Emma's sake? Yeah, yeah, absolutely, I know that. Yep, 100% know the story of the halberd and the shield. Mm-hmm. But yeah, like, for Emma's sake, could you repeat it?
Very well. Long ago, in the Kingdom of Truth, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon.
Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other.
Perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very descriptions of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless, and thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born.
Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize...
Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words, but it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this.
Wow. Wow. Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
Today I learned. Post on the TIL subreddit. It's funny. If that's so, then why were you only given a shield?
You'll have to ask Chief Gaunt. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished.
Chief Gaunt? That's weird. Hello? Excuse me?
Ah, hello. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef?
Miss Star! I guess she's out of lunches.
You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk.
Still, I never thought you'd go digging up that case from 2 years ago. I don't like that mental image. That's a mental image I could have lived without. Everyone in this trial was involved in the Sl9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on the very day the evidence from that case was due for transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence. I don't know, Chixie. Possibly?
Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness?
The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife.
No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw.
Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten.
There's something along that lines and it terrifies me. Oh yeah? Miss Star's hatred towards Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Let's talk about it, I guess. Let's have a feelings jam. Come on.
Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy.
I don't like your analogies, ma'am.
Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell.
You mean because of his brother's death?
They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate.
Her?
Lana Skye. My sister? The best of the best were put on that Sl9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gaunt.
I have another case closed!
The legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out.
You mean with the forging of the evidence?
Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly disappear while other items were kept secret. But you don't have any proof anything illegal was done. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most not even so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor.
Today wasn't a good day.
Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter.
She was being used? Yeah. I'm gonna call it there, though. We are, just about 2 o'clock, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, so I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. We'll pick this up next week. I just saved about 1,000 times just to make sure I actually saved it. Alright, let's get back to the title screen. Oh, boy. Well, we might finish up next week. Not 100% sure about that, but we might. Oh, Jeezy Pete's. This is gonna be like 4 episodes on its own. Fuck! Anyway, thank you so much for watching, YouTube. Hang on, let me pull this up real quick. Thank you so much for watching, YouTube. If you liked it, make sure you click the like button down below and subscribe to keep up with my stuff. New videos every Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Those are very consistent. There's a link down in the description that takes you to my Twitch channel, which shows you everything there. Consider giving me a follow down on Twitch because, you know, I'm planning on doing some guerrilla type streams in the near-ish future, probably starting in September. But, you know, if you follow or subscribe, you get notifications when I go live and what my schedule is, what game I'm playing, all that good stuff. So please click the link down in the description to go check out my Twitch channel. Comment, what was your favorite part about all this? Was it the Meekins testimony or was it the Jake Marshall testimony? Leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite part was. And share that with your friends. If you have friends who wanted to get into Ace Attorney or don't know what Ace Attorney is, or even, and you want to send them on this batshit journey, show them this, and I'll be happy to go along the same journey at the same time as they are. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it. Please stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time. Bye, YouTube!